Good morning, guys. Today, I want to take you through a little bit of my process for selecting which altcoins to trade, and then show you what I think are going to be some of the strongest coins and ones that I am focusing on right now. For those of you guys who aren't aware, I'm pretty bullish on alts at the moment for a trade. I wrote a Substack piece a few weeks back, kind of outlining this thesis, which I punted on because I thought stocks were potentially going to see a major leg lower. We had a pretty miraculous recovery last week, and I think stocks are good. And so I think alts are actually set up for a pretty good move here. I don't know if this is going to be a 7-day thing or a 14-day thing or how long it's going to last exactly. But I'm looking to position for trades, mostly using perps because they force me to constantly ask myself, do I want to hold this? I feel like I buy the spot bags sometimes and I forget about them. I end up bag holding them to zero. It's no fun. Anyway, this week across the board, we saw pretty similar move in everything, right? We had a monthly open right around here, a major nasty dump, and then a massive reversal. Now, this to me is like a really, really, really bullish price signature, right? Because you have this expansion met with expansion, reversal signature. You wiped out all of this kind of internal range liquidity here that we just left on the way up from the bottom. And then you can see that alt market cap here has put in a pretty clean higher low double bottom. And so I think this general setup is bullish for alts. This is all alts besides BTC, ETH, and in total, excuse me, stable coins, by the way, right? So the question becomes like, how do you figure out what the heck to trade? Now, I like to focus on mostly like the larger cap stuff, and I've basically constructed this spaghetti chart here, and I've timed this chart such that it's basically showing you performance on a relative basis off the bottom. And you can see the orange coin, Bitcoin here, kind of right in the middle, right? And then we kind of have this dispersion of performance across the alt market. Interestingly, Zcash, which has been one of the hottest coins for a while, is the worst performer alongside Costa, which is not something I ever touch with a 12-foot pole. You'll also see XMR down here, which is kind of in the Zcoin bucket, and Tron. So this is stuff like I would avoid trading, but it's an interesting question to see like what is up. Now, right out of the gate, this right here, I believe, is Fartcoin. Yeah, so Fartcoin, major run off the lows, had a bit of a pullback yesterday after sweeping some liquidity, but still looking pretty good overall. It's in second or third place. The strongest coin right now is Sui. Now, I don't really like Sui because, and I'll show you the next step here. So that's the relative performance out of the gate, right? But we want to also like chart these coins relative to the rest of the altcoin market cap to see like, is this just like kind of like a bounce sort of deal, like a mean reversion thing, or is there like something structurally good in the chart? So if we look at Sui, so you take your market cap of Sui, divide it by total 3 ES, which is what I use as my sort of baseline altcoin market cap. Well, if you do that and you don't misclick, really got to get a video editor. You can kind of see zoomed out that this is like not a really good looking chart, right? Maybe this is a reversal. It could be. It could be. But like this is just so nasty, and I don't know. Like this might just kind of roll over and die for all we know. So although Sui's performing very well off the bottom, it's not giving me anything like structurally interesting to look at, right? Versus something like, say, Fartcoin. If we see what that looks like structurally, this is interesting because you can see a clear range low here that's been swept, tested, swept again, a strong move up, right? And so you can frame like a range trade idea here and see like what that might look like. And if you draw a range out here for Fartcoin versus the rest of the market, it's pretty easy to see us potentially moving up into this consolidation here, which has basically never been tested, and into the mid-range. And this is a really big move. This is 197%, you know, give or take a few percent amongst friends. And again, that's not 197 in dollar terms. That's 197 versus the rest of the altcoin market, right? And you could be conservative too, and maybe just think about a range quarter if you want. And you can see a range quarter there, some supply right over here. That still gets you 82% outperformance versus the rest of the altcoin market. So this has a good spaghetti chart and a good altcoin ratio chart, right? So what else do we have in here? We've got Link. Interesting. What does Link market cap ratio look like? That looks good. That looks really good. Why? Because you have some sort of clear structure here, right? You've got this little demand area that we swept out, put this big move up on, right? Now this just looks like sort of like a higher low structure, right? Higher high here, intermediate. So this looks like it can move. Like this looks nice. So Link, pretty attractive here. What else do we have on the spaghetti chart? We already talked about Fartcoin. What is this coin? That's Link. And this is still Fartcoin. Athena, ENA. Again, this is a chart that makes sense. Why? Well, this is just bullish market structure. Right? So we can long this. There's a reason for the outperformance to stick. So Athena looks good there. What else do we have here? Aave, pretty interesting. Sheeb, who would have thunk it? But Aave seems to be a pattern here with Link, Athena, Aave. Some DeFi, RWA type themes the market is liking. What does Aave look like versus Total 3, ES? And again, this is a chart that we can long. There's just this sort of generational zone here. This is a really interesting area of demand because you have this consolidation here, right? And this wiped all of that, then put in a higher high. And we have within this range some market structure being maintained. These are all higher lows here. So I see a reason for this to push up. So Aave looks pretty attractive. In short, based on the spaghetti chart, based on the altcoin market cap ratios, it looks like Fartcoin, Link, Athena, and Aave are going to be my prime candidates for the near future as far as trading altcoins go. So hopefully that was helpful to you guys. Hopefully that was insightful, educational, entertaining. Probably not, but yeah. Thank you for watching. As per usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the free Discord below. Follow me on X for more brilliant insights. I will see you in the next video.